I had a dating question for you guys. I don't know if anybody's asked any new ones, but we can do it after this one.
Yeah, there's a couple good ones.
Yeah. How much of an impact would shirtless photo at 10% body fat with muscle have on online dating profile? I mean, shirtless photos are good if you're in good shape. I've been using a shirtless photo for 5-6 years. They're polarizing. So what that means is you're going to screen out more girls. But the girls that you do match with are going to be a lot more serious about meeting up. I did a Tinder experiment a while ago where I did like a very safe profile and I did a very, very polarizing one. And what I found is the safe profile got a lot more matches, but I actually wound up getting more dates from the very polarizing one, because even though I was getting less matches, the girls I matched with were actually a lot more serious about meeting up. So that's why I think it's important to be at least somewhat polarizing. And I think a shirtless photo, if you're in good shape, can be, part of that.
Hasn't data shown that the best is a photo with a dog, and then the second best is abs? And then I remember Tim Ferriss, he did both abs and he was surrounded by puppies, and that one crushed even more. So if you really
it's
a double down.
I'm familiar. It's the OkCupid study. It's a bit outdated, but I think it's true. I think dog photos are the most effective anecdotally, and shirtless photos.
But you also don't need shirtless photos to do really well, right? I've never used, I'm not, give me a couple months, I might get there, but I've never done ab shots, and I've done fine, right? So it's not like something
you don't need it. You don't need it. You don't need a dog photo. It just helps.
Yeah. I will say this about the shirtless photo is that, like, you got to make it a little tasteful. Like, if you're taking a photo of you like in a dimly lit bathroom with your abs, that's going to look terrible. Women will swipe left on that. But if you are holding a surfboard at the beach, then that would be a swipe right. So like, make it tasteful. Don't make it look like, oh, I'm.
There's
not
a reason why
abs here.
There's a reason, a context.
I think that's generally good advice. I agree with that, but I would say, like, for me personally, my shirtless selfie is me in the bathroom, right? Taking a shirtless selfie, and I still get, like, I just recently recreated my profile.
Put this photo up, man. I want to see this the deluxe bathroom selfie you got going.
You want to see it? I can pull it up. It's on my Instagram.
I do. I would like to see it, actually. I want to see how you pulled that off.
Oh, Lloyd, I thought you'd never ask. All right, let me pull it up.
Yeah, not like the other nudes you've been sending me, Alex. Those are trash.
I mean, dude, it's like not easy. My girlfriend's always looking over my shoulder.
I get that I'm like farther down the peg or something, but like, let's upgrade me a little bit.
I just gotta be a down low brother. All right, so you can see it here. This is the shirtless photo.
Oh, okay.
I don't have the dog thing. The dog thing's not there. This is just for Instagram, but this is the photo I use.
If you could get that definition with your abs and be on a boat or at the beach or something, I think you would be even better. Swipe right.
Is that your actual physique? Because if so, very nice.
I mean, this is me. Like,
or is it AI enhanced?
No, it's not AI. It's not AI at all. This is me.
Single
on an empty stomach after a massive pump.
I do a little
good lighting. It is real, but that's like the absolute limit to where I get. Yeah. Like right now, I don't look like that because I'm not an empty stomach. My workout finished like 4 hours ago, so like a lot of people don't also realize that getting a pump and like being on an empty stomach can make you look like 30 times more jacked.
Lighting too fucking matters. I will say this. So I'm a skinny guy. I'm 155 pounds and I'm almost 6 feet tall. I'm very skinny. So if I stand from head on like this, look at what my fucking stubbly arms are. Okay, don't look good. But if I stand at an angle, you don't notice any of that. It looks a lot better. So I find if guys are a bit skinny or something like that, the posture and positioning of yourself can make a big difference.
Yeah. Lloyd, just out of curiosity, why don't you like hit the gym more?
I do hit the gym. I just don't gain muscle like you guys do. I burn it. I move around a lot. I have also some digestive issues as well too. So I'm very athletic. Like I work out 3 or 4 times a day, but I do probably more cardio stuff, and I do work out. And right now I'm a little skinny because I've had some digestive issues, but no, I do work out. I'm very in shape. I'm just not.
By the way, I have some digestive issues too. Here's a supplement that is a massive game changer. It's called colostrum. It's colostrum LD. It's the stuff that comes from like when a cow, for example, just gives birth. It's like their mother's milk, and it repairs all gut problems, and it's really good. So you should get that.
I'll check it out. I've tried a lot of stuff.
Trust me, like I have stomach issues too. Like this thing is like one of the few things that actually works.
All right, cool. We'll send it to me after this.
Just remind me if I forget.
I mean, for me, it was not drinking, but that one's pretty obvious. But made a huge ass difference for sure.
Yeah. This hot client of mine is sitting on me, but the girl's married. What do you guys think about the ethics of fucking a married chick who's openly hitting on you? Look, ethics are subjective. What would, if I was friends with a husband, I would never do that, or even acquaintances with him. Assuming I don't know the husband, and she throws herself at me, yeah, I'd probably do it if I was in a relationship.
I think you're being a part of something that's kind of dark, but what you're doing isn't unethical.
Yeah.
So, like,
you're not the one who's cheating.
Do that because I feel, yeah, you're not doing anything unethical, but you're still being a part of something that is a little dark. Like, you're participating in it, even though you're not the one doing something wrong, if that makes sense. So, I don't necessarily want to be involved in that energy, right? That whole situation. But I mean, you don't owe her anything. If you know the guy, then it's fucked up. But if you know the guy, it's fucked, yeah. Right. If you don't know the guy, it's literally not unethical in any way that I can think of. The way I've told girls this, it's kind of maybe it works, but basically you could be helping them move on from that relationship or decide to stay in that relationship because they're probably going to cheat eventually. And that's what they're waiting for is an excuse to break up. So you're giving them an excuse to end that relationship because they're probably too pussy to do it on their own. Look, so a lot of times, that's why they cheat.
There's also like subtleties at play here, like nuance. Like if the girl's kind of drunk, but not like if she was single, it might be like, she's just kind of buzzed. But if she's like not something this would normally make, then you probably shouldn't do it, right? But if this is something she's deliberately trying to do sober, that's a little bit of a different story. But yeah, I mean, it's like I personally don't do stuff like that anymore, but I've done it in the past. But yeah, I don't know. I think ethics are.
I've done it accidentally in the last month. I just didn't know.
Yeah, if you don't know, I mean, it's not like.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen, yeah, eventually, yeah. That's how Indian PE lost his virginity. He was in Vegas and he was talking to a chick, yeah, and she was with her husband there, or her boyfriend, I think, boyfriend or husband, I forget. And he was playing like craps or whatever, and he was like losing, so he was just so focused on the game. And literally, he was like making out with her within eyesight of her boyfriend who was playing the game, and then he wound up pulling her to his car and banging her in the car. It's like insane. This dude was just.
It wasn't a cuckold situation.
No. This dude was just literally so obsessed with gambling, he just let it happen right in front of his eyes.
Wow, that's crazy. I actually had that happen with a client once, where he was pulling this married girl, and she was pretty hot. It was on, and she was staying in like the Cosmo. And he's like, "Should I go with her?" I was like, "Yeah, why not?" I was like, "Oh yeah, her husband is going to be in the room, and he's going to watch. So should I still do it?" I was like, "I personally wouldn't, but is it safe?" Yeah,
I've done that before, actually.
And then he went in and banged her, and the husband watched, and he wanted to leave a glowing testimonial, but I didn't want that testimonial of like, oh yeah, I cuckolded a married chick. So that's what happens on
the husband comes after
you. I've done that a few times, actually. It's kind of
really?
It's a little weird, but it's kind of funny too.
I've had other people in the same room, but never like watching. Like they have two beds, and their female friend is like, in the other bed, and they don't care or whatever, but never like in the corner in the chair.
The one misconception I had is I figured like in these situations, the girl wants you to degrade the husband. So I was like totally down for that. But then they never came up. The husband just stays there silently. He just watches. He doesn't say or do anything. So you don't get to like
jack off.
No, I've never seen them jerk off. No.
Okay.
They just kind of watch. It's really creepy, actually.
I had a couple situations when I was younger where I think they're like, wife or whatever wanted to bang a kind of like younger dude. So I banged a couple women in their 30s when I was in my like early 20s. And I had like a couple threesomes with chicks where there was a dude in the room, and at first it was like a mind fuck for me, so I couldn't get hard for like the first like 30 minutes because this dude is in the same room. But eventually I got over that and was able to get it done. But yeah, a couple weird situations.
Wait, did you say threesomes with guys? Is that?
No. It was with two girls.
Okay.
So it was like two
there
girls.
There was three black guys and an Asian midget in the room, and so he was having a hard time. But then he focused on the black guy. Yeah. This is back when he was really liberal, so that did the trick for him back in those days. Yeah. Is day game worth it if it takes 5-7 hours and ruins my routine? Okay, why does
how does it take in 5 to 7 hours?
Yeah, he doesn't.
That's a choice.
I don't think I've even ever done date game for
also,
7
if
hours.
you're going out consistently, warming up shouldn't take an hour. Like today, I go out regularly. Today, my first approach was maybe slightly choppy, but it was still fine. And then I'm warmed up, right? Like if you're going out a lot, it shouldn't take an hour. You're definitely doing something wrong.
Yeah, most likely what's happening is he's procrastinating a lot, so he's just ignoring sets. Or he lives somewhere that's like super like rural where there's just no people. But I think it's more likely that he's just procrastinating. He's like, oh, not this girl, or that's why it's good to go out with a wing so they can push you. So like, it doesn't really happen to me often, but occasionally I'll make excuses. I'm like, oh, I don't know, she's walking too fast, and like a good wing will be like, dude, stop being a fucking pussy, go approach her, you faggot. And so, yeah, I don't know.
I do day game solo mostly. I think once you get used to it, it's perfectly fine. Technically, it's better because a lot of the girls are by themselves in day games. So you don't really need a wing, and you're not like, if you're with the wing, they're going to do an approach, then you do an approach. It's kind of less efficient. Whereas in night game, having a wing is more beneficial. But like most of my infield pools on my channel are from day game. So I think day game, as long as you're in a city that either if you're college age, like if you're in an age range where going to a university campus wouldn't be weird, right? If you're like 50, I wouldn't do it. But if you're in an age range, college campuses in pretty much any city are super good, right? Except during the summer. Really even in the summer, they're not terrible. And then other than that, it depends on the city, right? Like if you're in a city like Vegas, super good. You could do 50 approaches on a fucking Tuesday if you went 7 hours. If you're in Miami, amazing. New York, amazing. Chicago, I've heard is really good. LA is good. But then there's some cities like a mid-tier city like Tucson. If you're not college age, it might not really be worth it. If there's only like a couple small malls where that's all you can do, maybe go there for like 30 minutes and get a couple approaches in. But the most of your results will probably come from clubs in that case.
Yeah. My opinion on this is that, like, obviously we cover this at first, like 5 to 7 hours, going out to day game. I just think that's too long. I would only do that like a few times even when I was like single and stuff. But I would try and get out of that, and the way I would get out of that would be like build up my social circle, start meeting people through there, start meeting people through actual events that are social. I don't want people to like, okay, well, I want a date now, so I'm going to go out and day game for 5 to 7 hours every single week. I just think that's not sustainable.
For any
normal person.
So I just did 30 minutes a day game before this, and I did like six approaches or so, and I got 2 numbers in 30 minutes. One of them already confirmed for a date. Like it doesn't need to take 5 to 7 hours.
Yeah, like in an hour,
30 minutes you could do. That's not a lot of time.
In an hour, if I'm getting rejected a lot, I can do easily 10. But most of the time it'll be like 5 because one of them like goes for like 10 minutes. But I'll easily like get at least 5-6 good ones in an hour.
Same here. Except I've got the Meta Ray-Ban, so they only have 3 minutes. So
you gotta keep it quick. Short. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I think the other thing that I like to talk about as well too is like, okay, so let's take a look at your schedule. If you're a busy guy, right, you don't have time to be going out and day gaming for hours every day, but you could, maybe you drink coffee in the morning. Well, instead of like making the coffee at home, maybe you walk to a coffee shop that's like 10 minutes away, and you walk there and back. That's like 20 minutes. You still get your coffee. Maybe it takes you like 5-10 minutes longer than it normally would, but you still get the same thing done, and you might run into a hot chick on the way, so like incorporating things into your week that makes sense for what you're doing, I think will help your mindset a lot better. Because if you go out and you feel like, oh, okay, I need to warm up, I need to do all of these things, but if you just make it a part of your life and your lifestyle, it's a lot easier.
I'd say that's the ideal, but you have to get some momentum first. So a lot of people will tell themselves, oh, I'm going to do an approach when I go to the grocery store, but they haven't been doing any approaches. And then they go to the grocery store and they see a girl and they're like, they have a lack of momentum. They just focus on the shopping and don't do it. Right. So once you've got the habit of being able to approach, which let's say you go out for a couple weeks where you're approaching, then you can start doing that. And it's really cool, right? It feels like a movie or some shit, like a rom-com. You meet a girl randomly at the checkout and, get her number or whatever. And I think that's the ideal, but you have to do it intentionally to get there, right? You have to have some momentum where you're not like constantly bitching out every girl you see.
Yeah.
Do you think a long session at the beginning is necessary?
No.
I think the easiest way is a boot camp, right? So you get someone to push you much further than you would. That's the fast way. But obviously not everyone's going to do that. What I do, and I got the recommendation for this book from Alex, is basically the Atomic Habits strategy. I said I'm going to do at least 1 minute, which sounds like nothing, right? It's at least 1 minute. That's nothing, but it's so easy to get yourself to do 1 minute. You're like, okay, I can go out, and if I stay for a minute, I can leave if I want to. But you're usually going to be like, all right, well, I'm already out, so I might as well stay a little bit and try to get at least one approach in, or at least a couple approaches. And so I just do that. And basically I tracked, and over a few weeks, it went from like one approach to like going out at night and doing 30 approaches and pulling, right? Like it gives you momentum, and you want something that's easy to sustain and momentum based, as opposed to like forcing yourself and relying on willpower, especially most guys have never really approached. Right. So if you've never really approached, it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of anxiety. Like the caveman subconscious part of your brain thinks some guy's going to like bat your skull in. Right. That's really what you're feeling. That's what approach anxiety is subconsciously. So that is overwhelming at first. So like giving yourself an out where I can just leave after 1 minute makes it so you're there because you're choosing to, not because you're forcing yourself. And I think that's the easiest way to like make it sustainable. And it might take a few weeks to even do your first approach if you've never done it. But eventually you'll be like, all right, I'm not going to be a bitch. I'm just going to approach this one. And then it's kind of like a snowball effect once you get that first one.
Yeah, I'm glad you're liking the book. Advice for anyone who's struggling with discipline and all that stuff, read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. It can be a game changer.
Yeah, so that's exactly kind of like what I tell my clients to do in a sense, but I have them start small. So instead of like, okay, go out and approach like, you know, a bunch of hot girls, go out and say hi to people, or go out and just like kind of have your head up and make eye contact and smile, right? If you're even too scared to say hi. So I start with like the small things first, where it's like, okay, even if you're retarded, you could still do that. But if
progressive
you have
desensitization.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I recommend that too. I think if you're a complete beginner, just like waving at someone or like going for a high five, like it sounds stupid. And I know it's hard for your ego to get yourself to do that. I'll still do shit like that sometimes because it gives you feedback. Like it's not a big deal to do something extroverted, right? It's not a big deal to like socialize. Like at worst, they just don't give you the high five, or you say nice dress and they're like, they're like, okay. They ignore you, right? But then you realize it's not a big deal if they ignore you. You didn't really care about the rejection that much. And then you do that a few times. If you do it, especially like back to back to back, like every few minutes, eventually the next step will be a lot easier too, which might be like an indirect approach, asking, you know, the classic, like, do you know where there's a coffee shop nearby? And then eventually you do that a few times, you can do the direct approach, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then, you know, you're having threesomes and cuckoldry and all that kind of stuff.
Do you guys know the Demonic Confidence Challenge? Is anyone familiar with that?
I've heard of it.
It's a 21-day progressive desensitization challenge. So like the first day is just basically waving at a girl. Day 20 is like going up to the girl and asking if she wants to have sex with you. So it progressively desensitizes you. I did a video where I kind of revised I didn't come up with this concept, but I think changed it around a bit to make it even better. So yeah, shameless plug there.
So I don't recommend you try this at home, but I've done, out of curiosity, I like doing like little experiments, the "would you like to have sex" line. And the first time I did it, some of the girls were really mean, by the way. So you have to be able to, like, they're like, what the fuck?
I never had that.
Okay. I had
Every girl I had was like polite. She was like, oh no, thank you, I have a boyfriend. And one girl was like down. She was like, I would, but my flight is in 2 hours. And then we just made
I only need 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But
hour and 59 more than we need.
So I did it. It was about like 25 or 26 times. And the last girl, she said, well, I'd have to get to know you better first, which that's as close as a yes as you need. And then I did pull her. And there was one last year. It was in the club. I was just kind of trolling with my friend. I was like, give me a crazy line to say. It's like, oh, just try to pull a girl in the open. And this pretty hot Ukrainian girl happened to be walking by to find her friends or whatever. And I just kind of put my arm out and said, hey, want to get out of here? And she was like, okay. Like, you'd be surprised. Just being bold can actually do crazy stuff. Like the last girl I pulled, it was 10 minutes. And that happens quite frequently. Like at first I thought it was the 4 to 7 hour rule or mystery. That's one thing I strongly disagree with him on.
7 hour rule.
Yeah. 4 to 7.
I think it's probably an average. You know what I mean?
But my average is like
an
hour. Yeah. And then some are 10 minutes and some are like 2 hours. So maybe it's more like 45 minutes.
I debated Mr.
And I have infield, by the way, saying bullshit. I have infield of doing that opener and getting a couple girls to agree. So,
I mean, the one time you and I went out, we pulled within 10 minutes,
5 minutes, 10 minutes. Yeah.
10 minutes, I think. And that includes the walk.
That was the second approach.
Yeah, let me quickly address this. The left say if you don't date a trans as a hetero, 99.9%
only on Twitter
does not say that. Okay, I think okay. Well, I don't want to get canceled, but yeah, I definitely would never in a million years date anything trans related, and that does not make me transphobic. So yeah, there we go.
Yeah. It's
I know you've known someone who believes that, but we can't specify.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I wonder who you're talking about.
I know guys, and I like even have people who I know very well who like prefer dating those kinds of women. And I'm not going to mention names, obviously, but like I was like, didn't that used to be like back when I was in college or back when I was like gaming all the time, like that was the ultimate. If you
bro, Austin told us not to say anything. Come on, like he said, we shouldn't talk about it.
Oh, Jesus.
Not gonna mention names.
Well, he's late.
That used to be like the ultimate insult.
Yeah, it is. There's a really cool video about Sharon Osbourne saying that she didn't like Ozzy at all first because of his looks, but she ended up madly in love with him. Yeah, that happens all the time. Their girls might not initially be attracted to your looks, and then they find out you're funny and blah blah blah.
By the way,
yeah,
even
I'll be honest,
mom,
probably,
she dated a guy.
Okay,
there's lag, but my mom, she dated a guy after my dad, who like she told me like, okay, initially I did not find him attractive at all, and I'd be like, I understand why, but he was like very overweight and stuff. But once I started talking to him, the way his face lit up and his energy and whatever made him attractive, right? And even for men, that happens to some extent, maybe not as much, but there'll be a girl who's really hot and then she has no life in her eyes and no energy, and you're kind of like turned off by it, or at least that happens to me. Whereas a girl who's like really has a feminine, good, present energy, like it makes her noticeably more attractive.
Dude, my mom had the same thing. The guy after my dad, she said that she didn't find him physically attractive at all at first.
It's nice it was the guy after your dad, right?
Yeah, she actually said that she didn't even find my dad physically attractive, but he was like really nice or whatever. But same thing with the other guy, and with the other guy it makes sense because he's like ugly. But yeah, she said that he was really intelligent and he was nice and sweet.
Your mom's Russian, right? So she's probably was very attractive.
Yeah, she was a model when she was a teenager in her early 20s. Yeah, she was pretty.
And this is before like model meant Instagram.
Yeah, before that, she wasn't doing BBLs or sucking any dick on the side. Okay, let's just be clear about that. Oh yeah, how would I know? I wasn't even born back then. All right, so big thanks to the super chat to Drake. Thanks a lot, appreciate it. Let's address this comment, okay? Night Game is dead, by the way. You rarely see dudes pull from Night Game.
I mean, I want to know what city this guy's in, because maybe he's in some like cow town where it's dead, but it's super wrong. Like you can go out in Vegas on a like Tuesday and the club is packed. Like last week, I think it was Steve Aoki on a Tuesday, and there was like 4,000 people. But even in a normal city, I've traveled all over. I feel maybe there's a slightly less volume, but not to a point where it's really noticeable. And if anything, I feel like it's easier because less men approach. And I've had women complain more than once, like no one's approached me or like no one wants to talk to me. And I never heard that before.
70% of women under 30 or under 25 wish they would get approached more.
Right. So there you go. That's
the
majority would prefer it.
Yeah, Night Game will never be dead because that's how most people have met for a long time and will continue to meet. That and through friends. So
but there's another stat with that one. It's the same study. 46% of men between 18 and 30 have never approached a girl in their lives, which is pathetic. Like that's just insane. Pathetic. Like never. Like you've seen this many, like thousands of women. They're like, she's cute, but I might get rejected, so I'm not going to do it. Like for your whole life, that's just a sad life to me. Like,
bro, it's crazy how much like being like in the kind of the circles we're in, where probably most people into pickup, but how different that is than the average normie mindset. Like to the average normie guy, the idea of cold approaching a girl is like suicide. It's like I'm asking them to jump off a bridge.
Yeah, what you're supposed to do
far outside of the realm of what they're used to.
Yeah, it's like, dude, I'm not going to eat my own shit in public.
Yeah, what you're supposed to do is use some bad selfies for Tinder, get a match with a girl who like, looks like Gorlock the Destroyer, some like 3 or 4, and date her and have a toxic relationship with her because that's better than not getting any. Gorlock
always gets what she wants.
But yeah, Zach, come to Vegas and you'll see me and the guys I go out with, and you'll see multiple pools on a nightly basis.
I just think you're hanging out with people who are
good parties too. You know, so
knowing where to go.
When I first went out, like I thought night game was dead because I just went to shitty places. You know, it wasn't until I found out where the places that were popping till I was able to go out 5, 6. I could go out every single night of the week and it would be popping wherever I went because I knew the places to go. They had events going on. You know, I memorized where they were. You know, I knew friends that would text me about things that were happening. Like I built all that ecosystem up. When you first start going out, you don't know where the good places are. Most of the places you're going to are probably going to suck ass. Yep. So, you know, go out, make friends, ask, you know, it's going to take a little bit of time before you figure it out. But like come to one of us at our cities and you'll see where we go out, shit ain't dead.
Yeah, that's a good point. When I first started going out in Tucson, I went to 4th Avenue, which is like there'd still be the occasional hot girl, but it was like the grungy part of the city. Yeah. And I thought that was the whole thing. And then later I found University, which is where all the hot college girls went, like a year later. And I was like, holy shit, the average hotness is like 3 points higher all of a sudden. Right. Yeah. And then eventually, once I learned everything, I was like, oh, there's actually a good venue on Wednesday. There's a good venue on Tuesday. There's a good venue on Thursday. The only day you can't go out, like even in Tucson, not a big city, just a medium city, 500,000. Sunday was the only day you couldn't go out during college. So putting some effort and some research, which this is something you can Google and try different places, find wings who can help you with it. It really makes a difference. It's also something you can open with when you're going out, like to find out and gather more information.
Yeah. Thank you, Alex PWF. I got Big Booty Latina. All right. Those are the best kind of Latinas. Last night, because of your help, I've been killing it. How do I go from intermediate to advanced? Yeah, it's an interesting question. First of all, it's like kind of, I don't
give Alex more than $5.
No. I don't
sign up for his fucking program.
Yeah, that I agree with. No, I don't think you should even put yourself in like a mental category. I'm a beginner, I'm intermediate, I'm advanced. I don't think that's good for you. Like I never think of like, okay, as an advanced guy in the like, I just don't think it's good to do
how
that.
Do I get better?
Yeah, exactly. How do you get better? That being said, one of the things that I found to be the biggest difference between guys who are quote unquote intermediate and advanced is their ability to calibrate. So guys who are intermediate are good with a certain type of girl. Like they have their like shtick and they're good with a certain type of girl, but they're not good with other types of girls. You'll never be good with every type of girl, but guys who are advanced are better calibrating to different girls in different situations. But really, just again, it's like doubling down on the basics. Getting better, becoming more confident, more witty, getting better at pulling, getting better at making a girl laugh, getting better at building sexual tension. That's a huge one. Getting better at escalating, right? It's just kind of keep leveling up on the basics, really. That would be
so. I think another two big ones are how committed are their approaches? Like, is it 100% intent and they like fully mean it? They fully want her to like stop. They want her to talk to him, and they're not kind of like hem-hawing or like half-assed. That's a big thing. Intermediates, you'll see them kind of like they approach, but it's not fully committed. It's like 70% committed. And the other one you'll see advanced guys do is they lead with no hesitation. They're not missing opportunities. Like a lot of guys who they'll have a girl that's into them, that's like all over him, but you just see the light like slowly get out of her eyes because he's not moving it forward and it just fizzles out.
Yeah. I think there's different stages. You know, if you're just trying to like fuck as many girls as possible and the hottest girls as possible, I think getting good at game and being able to walk up and, you know, adjust your behavior based on the other person is really, really important. You know, then there's like, you know, building a social circle that has a bunch of women that are coming in that, you know, already perceive you as a high value guy, which is kind of what Sartain does. That's really high. And I think the highest level on top of that is probably to start a cult. So if you start a cult, that's the highest level of getting pussy. Like totally owning people in terms of social.
We're all working on that one.
Cult leaders have no problem getting laid.
That's why they start the cult in the first place.
I like all the religious ones who are like super Christian, except for the fact they bang the wives of every single one of their like congregation.
I have a friend who literally does
during
that.
The Netflix documentary too.
I have a friend who literally, he's a spiritual teacher. He's got over 1 million subscribers. He tried game. I'm not going to name him, but he tried game and he's very bad at it. He would just like tell girls, I'm going to sell you into sex slavery and shit as a joke. And then he got banned from XS for doing that. But He does weird, cringy stuff, but he has this cult following, and women just come to him, message him, and then he initiates them into like DMT and shit, and that's how he gets his girlfriend. So it does work. I've seen it.
Yeah. It does. Women are super into the spiritual shit. It just makes me sick when I hear guys working that. I'll hear a guy at the party like getting real spiritual and stuff like that because I know he's trying to get pussy, and I'm just like, it just makes me sick hearing that.
Yeah,
stuff.
I hate the spiritual really don't like it. As well. yeah, I don't like it either. All right. So, have you guys noticed there are specific archetypes, not nationalities, of women you do well with and not as well with? I mean, archetypes. I'm taking age, but also art. Yeah, like that's kind of normal. I do pretty well with Latinas. I mean, I do well with some white girls as well. I can fuck Asians, but I don't do. Asians are just. I just find like fresh off the boat Asians to be just annoying.
Really depends. Yeah, on the type of Asian.
Yeah, there's some women that you do better with than others. Yeah, that's totally normal.
But I would look at it the opposite way, where there's the ones that I like more, right? Like I could get the like Instagram thought. Oh, in the car again. Let's see.
Oh my God, he's fucking driving again.
Better. Hopefully it ends better this time.
The man himself is here.
This dude never learns.
So.
Yo, how's it going? Charging his Tesla. Perfect. We got about 20 minutes.
I know how to get the like Instagram model type of girl that's, vacuous or whatever, but I just don't really want to, right? So, yes, there's going to be ones you have better chemistry with, but what's the problem with that?
Yeah. Learning who you do well with and learning where your strengths are, I think is a big part of the dating process. You will do better with others. And in my opinion, when someone comes to me is like I help them figure out where they're going to be the most successful. I see guys that are just hell-bent on getting a certain kind of girl that is going to be harder for them to get.
Austin, can you stop doing that?
And I'm like, you could get... Yeah. maybe we mute just a little bit where he unruffles his Chipotle.
Yeah, just mute yourself while you're jerking off a chicken or whatever you're
doing. So basically, learning what you do well with is really, really important. Like I said, I've seen guys just like maybe they're hell bent on getting that like stereotypical blonde chick or whatever.
That's a very common one, especially with Indian guys. Not gonna lie, and Asian guys. But, and I'm like, why? Why are you like? It's not as great as you.
It's
think.
Like an obsession. Yeah.
It's not that special. Like some of them are fine, but it's nothing special.
Yeah.
You could get a 6 out of 10 blonde or a 10 out of 10 woman who's like looks more like you, or if you organize your social circle, maybe you could do that. But like the amount of effort, like not everybody's willing to work as hard as Justin Mark to bang those chicks.
And also, you might be surprised you find the ones you thought you were going to be most into are not the ones you're most into, right? Because I had that kind of feeling with like the hot sorority girl archetype, and once I slept with a few, I was like, they're really not better than just like the chill girl next door kind of girl, right? I much prefer that. So what you think you'll like is based on like your social conditioning and your preconceived notions, and it's not necessarily going to match what you actually end up liking. So you have to, try all the flavors, and then you'll know.
Like Pokemon, you got to try them all, catch them all.
Yeah, got to catch them all, girls and STDs.
Yeah. Alex, can you spell that digestion supplement? Sure. It's COLOSTRUMLD. Colostrum LD. You can buy it on Amazon, and it's really good shit. You can buy it in capsules or you can buy it in powder. It doesn't really matter. I personally do the capsules. Okay. Well, let's see this. I'm kind of over online dating. I match with mostly 6, occasionally 7. The girls from line either. The problem is your photos. That's the reason.
Can you show us your photos? Yeah.
Let's not go down that road because then we're going to be doing this forever. But guarantee you the photos you're matching with 6s because your photos are like a 5 or a 6.
Or you could be. I mean, it's hard if you're overweight.
Yeah, well, yeah, sure. Or there's something like that's seriously off. But honestly, just you need to improve your photos and basic things like weight as well, if that's an issue.
Yeah, I think that he needs to get off the apps, honestly. If he's only relying on dating apps, that tells me he's got a problem already. Like, you should never only rely on dating apps for dating.
Yeah, let's say I have a limited amount of money and I have to focus on night game or online. What should I pick?
You only have to get professional photos once, so it's not like
don't think it should be a choice
yeah.
for financial reasons. Like for night game, what's the cost? You can do just street game. I guess if you live somewhere far, like
only if you don't have a car or something.
Yeah, I guess.
Or you need to drink, but just don't drink.
Yeah, or just bring out what I used to do when I used to drink, but didn't want to spend money. So I just used to bring it in the water bottle and keep it in my pocket.
Or even better, just don't drink. But yeah,
sure. But in terms of online, yeah, the photos are a one-time thing. Or you can go to www.unrealphotos.io and get AI photos. They're a lot cheaper.
Yeah, night game is free in most cities.
Yeah, I just don't like the idea that you have to choose between those two things.
I don't like that idea either. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your questions. And for him to be like an either or, I take photos for my dating profile or I do night game. Like that's a question where he's really segmenting himself into a tough position.
It's very common,
so he should,
right? People say I'm going to focus on my career and I'm not going to, once I make X amount of money or once I'm down to 8% body fat. It's like you can prioritize one and put more effort into it, but if you neglect the others, they're going to get worse, right? They're not going to stay the same. Yeah. They're going to go downhill. Mm-hmm. So you can improve all of those. You just focus more on one, and then you do like the atomic habits, like we talked about earlier with the others.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mystery interviewed on Sartain's podcast this week and said, do not have shirtless photos on GS as low value. I mean, look, I respect Mystery for his contribution to this community, but he on a lot of things, he's just wrong. He hasn't.
Would love to see Mystery's dating profile, though. Wouldn't you?
He doesn't use dating apps. He doesn't use dating apps.
Probably never has.
Yeah, he's against them.
He's someone. He reminds me of Freud. Like he has a lot of brilliant ideas that he came up with that changed the built the community. But he also has a lot of ideas that turned out to be very untrue, and he won't. Yeah,
he's
not aware of his own.
He's stuck in his. Yeah,
he hasn't evolved. Yeah.
Yeah, like he believes that you should get the girl's Skype. Like just think about that for a second.
Still?
Well, when I talked to him, that was the case.
Email, girl.
4 or 5 months ago, I was like, but most girls don't have Skype.
I mean, I've never tried it. Maybe
they have Skype. He believes in the 7-hour rule, which is silly. He believes that what's the other crazy thing he believes? Oh, he believes in peacocking, which is just cringe. So, yeah, I
mild peacocking is pretty good, but
I mean, not to the extent that he does.
Comic-Con, full like Renaissance.
I mean, I just think that like he looks like a freak. So in a lot of those photos,
I think that really worked for him because at the time he was doing it, in that part of LA, I think a lot of people just assumed he was a celebrity, and so women who were like didn't know any better were visiting, probably thought that this dude's like, wearing a giant
Andre
top hat, he's got painted nails.
Mystery doing magic,
but
yeah, like a lot of there's some things that work for one person but don't work for the general public. Like, Mystery doing magic tricks makes sense because he's very good at magic tricks and he has that kind of personality where it would make sense. For the average guy to do magic tricks, it's going to come off super cringe. But Mystery doesn't realize that certain things that work well for him won't work for the average person. And
dude, I'll say something. When I was first researching game, like because I just found out about it, I saw some like websites and they're like, here's how you get her with magic, and then here's how you get her with like
hypnosis.
And I was like, bro, not only do I have to learn how to talk to girls, I have to learn how to be a magician. It sounded like so much extra work. And then when I found some guy who was like, no, you can just talk to them, I was like, oh, thank God.
You're like, shit. Oh, big side.
Fuck, I have to wear these creepy outfits? God damn it, I don't even know where I can buy this shit. Yeah. Want to get good at day game, but my approach anxiety kills me as opposed to night game. How do I start game? The answer is exactly what you think it is. You have to force yourself to do it. Oh, did we?
Well, I mean, we said
it's a different
go out consistently. Go out just at least like.
Dude, I literally have the best. I have like the most definitive guide on this. Just look up desensitization plan, Austin Summers. I just show you all the steps. It's actually not to force yourself, because if the anxiety is so bad, you're literally just pushing yourself into a panic zone, and then you're just going to shut down. So the way to do it is once you have an alignment of your values, you say like, I want to have like more dating results, and you're really you have enough drive there. Then you just take very, very small steps leading up to the action that you take. And this is backed up by all modern psychology, that you should break things down into small steps.
Yeah.
And then reward yourself for like doing them. They're like, fuck yeah, I did that. This is a part of who I am and who I'm becoming.
gradual exposure, I think, is the technical term.
I think progressive.
Progressive desensitization. Yeah. So we were talking about that before, and that's a perfect example of it. Yeah. So start by doing things that you can do. If you walking up and talking to her or approaching is too much, then start with eye contact. Start with saying hi, pre-openers, those kinds of things.
And it gets easier and easier the more you do it. It's only hard in the beginning. It becomes really easy after a while.
And if you want to make the beginning really hard part a lot faster, that's why in-person coaching is so helpful, because you have someone else pushing you, and so you can go way, way further, especially if they're a good coach, they know what they're doing. You'll be able to go like 100 times further in that 3 days than you ever could before. So you skip a lot of that initial phase, which is where most people quit, right? The initial phase of like, I haven't even gotten a date from cold approach. Like they'll go 2 weeks, they don't get any results, they quit, they try again, etc. But that won't happen if you actually do 100 approaches in a weekend because you're with a coach.
Yeah, for sure. Alex, do you think dating apps have ruined other forms of meetings? Seems like younger women don't even know how to try it. No, they have not. They never will. There's still a lot of people who want to meet authentically. Most women, actually, I've done these street interviews. Most women, actually, like pretty much all women, their ideal way of meeting is not on a dating app. They prefer to meet in real life. I've interviewed countless girls, and none of them said that, oh, yeah, I prefer to meet a guy on a dating app. Some of them, for example, either work a lot or they're socially awkward, so they do it. But for all of them, their preference is that they meet a guy in real life. For some of them, it's through friends. Some of them, it's in like a cutesy type of way. But they all prefer to meet a guy in real life. So no girl prefers to meet on a dating app.
I will say that I don't think it's dating apps that ruin other forms of meeting, because he said that women don't know how to interact. I think it literally is short form content that has like kind of like fucked everyone's brain. I definitely noticed a shift around COVID, where obviously after COVID it was like probably the worst, but it's still not great. Like interacting with girls in 2018, 2017, 2016, the conversations that you have would just be like much more interesting, much more fun, flow better. Now, I would say if you're just taking a net total of society, I feel like everyone's conversational skills have gone down.
That makes it easier to stand out.
I came from playing sports, but I wanted to make this anyway.
Playing sports. Yeah, I kind of agree with Austin in the fact that like more people are staring at their phones a lot now. You talk to a lot of Gen Z kids and they don't really know how to interact with people. And that may just be a case of us getting older and being more comfortable with our social skills. But I also think it's due to the fact that they don't really socialize as much as they used to. And there's a lot of data to back that up.
Yeah, to some extent. I mean, like, I go to the place where it's not like I talk to like fucking like teenage boys on the reg, but the place where I go to physical therapy.
Good start.
Yeah, the place where I go to physical therapy, like usually at the same time, there's another patient I think he's like 17 or something. He's in high school, and this dude is like totally normal. Like he's not weird, but yeah, obviously I know that's like an exception. But there's still some normal ones.
And I think every generation feels that about the next generation. It's hard to.
Yeah. I was thinking it might be a case of age as well too, but no, I agree with you, Alex, and I also agree with you, Austin. I think it's a little bit of both, where it's like, maybe the social skills aren't as high, but women still want to meet a guy in real life. You may have to deal with a blank stare for a little bit. You may have to deal with a little bit of awkwardness, but that's how it's always been. There's always been some awkwardness in the approach, and furthermore, if you look at the data as well too, people are actually pushing away from dating apps a little bit now. Like all of the dating app companies are actually laying people off. They're losing money, and it's because not as many people are using the app anymore. A lot of people are, but it's not as much as it used to be.
Yeah.
So I would ask this guy, how many women have you approached in the last month or like asked out other than her? Because the answer to this question is probably get good with women in general, and then you won't have to like obsess or worry about some little situation like this.
Yeah.
I get questions like this a lot.
I appreciate the super chat. Okay, so first of all, there's two factors. Number one is that she has a boyfriend. Number two is that you guys work together. So first of all, the question is, how much do you care about your job? If this is like a company that you want to, grow with, then I would recommend staying away from women that you work with. If this is like a whatever job, you don't really care about it, then that's a different story. So that's the first thing. Second of all, I mean, like you would just ask her to grab drinks and then just do everything else the same. But it's due to the fact that she has a boyfriend and the fact you guys work together. It's not an ideal situation. But yeah. Just make sure you don't develop like one night is for this girl.
How much do you care about the job? If you care about the job a lot, I
would stay away.
Don't do it. Like get abundance. It's a very scarcity thing to be like fixated on this girl at work.
I've seen so many guys get fired from their jobs for like fucking around with their coworkers.
Right. So you actually have to worry about, if I'm aggressive or I come on too strong, it could end very badly. So it's going to make you probably come across more like reserved and more beta, if you will. So it's going to be harder to even get her if you could. Whereas if you're just meeting random women on the street or a bar or whatever, you don't have to worry about all that.
But look, if you don't care about your job, it's fine. If it's
if it's Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Like fuck it.
Goldman
I've coached actually a couple guys.
Austin, you're muted.
To get into relationships with women at work.
I think I heard it.
It really depends on how much they work together. If they're in like completely different departments in the same company, like it doesn't really matter that much. And you also have to pay attention to your environment. I've seen guys get in a lot of trouble with women when they didn't hook up with them. So it really depends on a lot of factors. I think the best thing that he should do is invite her to like happy hour after work. And it could just be as simple as like, hey, me and a couple of the guys or me and a couple of the people are getting drinks after work. Do you want to come? And then you see how she behaves with you in that environment. It's not a date. It's not anything serious yet. And then, you go from there. But I wouldn't go straight to date. I would make it something like really casual. And if she works immediately with you in the same department, I would think very, very strongly about
Give yourself plausible deniability. Just invite her to grab drinks. In case that goes to shit, you can be like, listen, I just wanted to grab drinks as a friend. So give yourself plausible deniability. Yeah, that's the key. Don't say super sexual things over text unless you guys already have had sex.
Bro, Austin you have someone in your car and you're still going for the driving.
Oh, shit, he does.
And I don't understand.
Who is that? Is that a guy or girl?
Wait, I have someone in my car and what?
And you're still driving.
I'm still driving? What do you mean?
Right, while doing the podcast. Couldn't he drive? I don't know. That's just.
Do you want to drive here? Okay, we'll make him drive.
No, I think Austin needs him to give him a blowjob while the driving is happening, so that's why.
Roadhead is amazing.
So guys, Austin just jumps out of the car. He just like aborts. Yeah.
All right.
No, I've never. This question? No, I mean condoms suck. I think they're one of the main reasons to want to be in a relationship. But I've never lost an erection.
Yeah, I mean, I think every guy has lost erections in the past. It happens. If it happens often, then that's a different issue. But yeah, like obviously, like when I have sex with a random girl, obviously I wear a condom because you don't want to risk it. But yeah, when you have a girlfriend or like a fuck buddy where there's some trust, like having sex without condom is a lot better.
Yeah, so I think this guy, he's obviously having dick problems. Your dick should be able to stay hard with a condom on, if you're with a girl that you like. But my guess is he's putting too much pressure on himself. And
unless she's
he's like, okay, now's the time. Now's my moment. I got to make it work. And then it doesn't fucking work, okay? Because you pressure on yourself. So, work a little bit slower. A lot of guys don't actually ask themselves what actual things to
You're cutting out again,
turn
by
them
the way.
on in the bedroom. And not just treating sex. Oh, sorry. If you're just treating sex as a performance, then the performance is going to suck. But if you treat it as an experience and you actually try and enjoy yourself and figure out what works for you, then your dick's probably going to get way harder. You're probably going to have way more fun, and she's going to like it a lot more too.
Yeah, that's true. I just say from personal experience, the only times I had erection issues was when I was with a girl who wasn't really my type. Like she was cute, but she wasn't my type. And my type is big tits, big ass. So maybe she was a cute college girl who was 110 pounds and had a pretty face, but there's no tits and ass. And I sometimes have a hard time. So just what I learned is that
close your eyes and imagine, right?
what I learned is I just need to go for girls that turn me on. Girls that are my type, and then I just don't have that issue.
Yeah, this question. This question reminds me of I was just at this behavioral science summit, and when they'll do exercises, so they'll put an example of a client up on the board, and they're like, "What questions would you ask this client?" And like the whole room asked like, combined like maybe 30 questions, just to like fact find and like understand their history before like going into the background. It reminded me like, if people are asking questions, try to be a little bit more detailed, because he just asked if we lost a boner in a condom, but like, is he having the problem with it? And then like, how fat is this guy? Because like being overweight, that decreases your test, which decreases your ability, your libido, fucks up your health. Does this guy do cardio? Happen? Like, yeah, how often does this happen? Is it a psychological problem, or is it like just your health just fucked up, below the belt problem? There's like so many questions that come up with sexual health stuff in game that like people ask, like they give like maybe 2 to 5% context, and then they like, and oftentimes it's not even the question's not even the answer that they need. So
yeah. That's true. And plus, you can always pay Austin extra, and he'll do the thing where he tickles your balls while you fuck the girl. And that feels really good. It's amazing. Like you'll 100%.
Thanks for telling them that it's extra, because I've had clients that are like, I thought that was included. So
yeah, it's fucking bullshit, man. No, you gotta pay extra for that shit. Yeah,
it's an upsell.
Yeah, it's an upsell. You buy Austin's program, and it's like, oh, this seems legit. And there's like a thing that pops up. By the way, for an extra $400 right now, you can get your balls tickled.
Well, you've already spent more money, so it's worth it,
Yeah. I'm trying to get better at cold approach, but it seems like really black box to me. Usually you get better by doing lots of approaches, but there's no proven formula to get better at.
I've never heard the term black box.
Like, meaning he's like not able to figure it out, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I'm assuming that's what he means. He's saying there's no proven formula, but like, I mean, that's what all of us have done here. We practiced and we got better. So yeah, I'd say it's fucking proven.
There's no, if you think about it, there's no proven formula for a lot of things. There's things that work the majority of the time. There's things that work with a high probability. But yeah, sure, you could be a massive exception, but you're probably not. 99% chance you're not an exception. But yeah, like any one of us, you can just, watch our content and you kind of see. Like, we don't even like really, hide it behind the paywall. Like, you watch it for free.
It's slightly different, but the formulas are there, and there's plenty of proof, through infield testimonials, et cetera, that it can work for pretty much any variety of guy.
The thing is that he's making like one or more constant mistakes. That's really what it comes down to. It could be with his inner game, could be with his outer game. It's probably both, but there's just some mistake that he's making that he's not aware of, and he thinks he's doing everything right. But there's just this several, probably more than one, several mistakes that he's consistently making, and that's why I think coaching comes in.
It could be like I was gonna say, it's like if any of us like hung out with this dude for 30 minutes, it would be painfully obvious like what his issues are. And the other thing I was gonna say is you don't need something to be a complete like perfect solution. There literally are no perfect solutions, really. Yeah. And like the good news is you only need something to like push you in the right direction on your journey, pretty much. And all of us have that and more, but yeah, I was thinking about this with language learning. Like, language learning is not optimized. There is no like perfect language learning system that exists, but like somehow people still learn languages. So like, you don't need everything to be perfect to just get started and have a better reality than you currently have.
Yeah. Yeah, I've gone out with people who are like friends of mine or whatever acquaintances, and they were like, "Hey, can you just give me some feedback, whatever?" So I did it for like free, whatever, and like they were like, "Dude, I've been at this for 2 years and I'm stuck here." And then there's just like one or more like really obvious mistakes that when I point out to them, they have no idea about this thing at all. So like, you don't know what you don't know. So that's guarantee you that's what's happening.
If I were a betting man, I'd say this guy barely approaches in the first place to even need to work on the mistakes. Based on the way he's asking it, he probably has done a few here and there, but he doesn't do enough to where he even has to worry about the blind spots just based on this question. And that's like 90% of guys are not even putting themselves out there, and he already has a pre-excuse for what I won't get good when I try this, so I'm not going to try. Right. But you have to learn through failure. Anything you want to get good at, you learn through trying and failing and iterating, getting feedback, getting coaching, etc. So my guess is he probably hasn't really started.
Oh, I'm
500 is in what time period? That's not a bad amount.
He said in the chat it's in 500.
But in a month or 10 years?
Yeah, I mean,
it's like these new like dating channels. They'll be like, "Here's everything I learned approaching 40 girls in my whole life."
here's how it works, guys. And I'm like,
I'm an expert. I saw a couple.
Yeah, I'm like 40. That's like a one night out. What are you doing?
Yeah,
Joseph, here's what you should do.
Guy who did that.
Go get an audio recording. You can do it on your iPhone of you talking to a girl, and then just pay one of us for like a coaching session, and we'll break it down and we'll tell you where you're going wrong. It's the easiest thing you can do, the best thing you could do in this situation.
So, in 2 years isn't awful, but I probably did 500 approaches in the last like 3 weeks.
I mean,
so
it's a decent
maybe
amount.
month and a half.
But again, I don't think like the solution
is enough for him to
get
discouraged. I think
for him to keep doing the same thing over and over again. There's just a series of mistakes that you're making. That
we don't know what results he's getting either, though.
That you're not able to just accurately diagnose. But yeah. Here's a crazy story about this. So there's this guy in my mastermind. I won't say his name or anything like that, but he is literally a 40-year-old virgin. He's 40 years old and he's a virgin. He has a successful career, right? Good dude, right? But he's a virgin. And so I've been like, we and the other guys in the master have been really pushing him to help him lose his virginity. So he gets on Tinder, right? We get him on Tinder, and he has his first date. And the first date goes really well. He said that if he had logistics, he would have pulled. He just didn't think of logistics. Okay, first date, I'll take its progress. Goes on the second date. Second date, I don't know, just nothing really happens, nothing bad, nothing good, whatever. And so I'm like, all right, you gotta keep going, man. You're making
progress. Is this for the same girl?
No, separate girl. Okay. And so then he makes a post how he's deleting all his dating apps, and I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, I just couldn't handle the massive amounts of emotional trauma, and I was like, dude. This 100% has to do with the fact that you're just basically self-sabotaging. Like you're getting close to success, and none of us want to be wrong, and you're finding ways to justify. It's like, oh, this is so stressful, blah blah blah, and that. So I think self-sabotage can be a real bitch, and a lot of guys have it.
100%.
So Joseph said he got 25 numbers out of the 500 approaches. So I would say that means Alex is right that that's 5%, which is definitely way too low. So there's definitely some things you're doing super wrong. Now I've had experiences with clients. Some of them are actually extremely easy to fix. Like I've had clients, they just kind of grab girls' shoulder from behind and scare them right at the beginning and freak them the fuck out. And then they're like, and they run away, and then they get rejected 70, 80% of the time. And all you have to do is tell them, okay, actually just give them some space, get in front of them, whatever. And that will, triple their success rate. So it's likely something like you're super quiet. Maybe you never go direct. You never state your intent. There's something very basic that you're probably not doing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. All right, what else do we have?
Guys, I'm sorry, but I have to run right now. I think we're gonna go till 10, right?
Yeah, but also I figured to say, but yeah, sure, no worries. We're probably gonna wrap up.
I gotta run. Have fun, you guys. I'll see you
later.
All right,
buddy, take it easy. All right, do we have any last questions? Anything at all? Yo, I had a pretty epic debate. Do you guys know who what's his name? Misfit Patriot is?
Heard the name, but
he's been on Tim Pool and stuff. He's blowing up in the right-wing circle. He's getting sued by Andrew Tate right now because he made fun of Andrew Tate, and Andrew Tate just sues everyone who makes fun of him. But yeah, I debated him for 2 hours about the big beautiful bill. It was a pretty epic debate. That's crazy. That as just a side note, that Andrew Tate is literally suing half of the internet.
I mean, if we assume he is innocent, and then people are calling him a rapist, it makes sense.
Yeah, but most people, I'm sure some people are, but most people are well, my opinion is that he's blah blah blah, and so
I don't know about most people. I think people are not super careful with that kind of stuff.
I don't know.
Most people haven't been sued for it,
I think either way, I think suing people is a pussy move. I don't think that's what the top G should do.
I've never done it, probably never will.
I've never done it. Yeah. People make up shit about me all the time. I'm not gonna fucking sue them. I think that's just, I just think it's sad thing to do. I think Andrew Tate is a pretty good role model. What do you guys think?
Maybe in a few specific areas, but in a lot, he's a terrible. Some of his stuff about discipline and hard work, and I think some of that advice is very good, and the way he explains things can be very compelling. But I also think like a lot of his stuff is trolling, and a lot of people don't even know it's trolling. So you take it seriously, that's bad. And a lot of his stuff about women is way too controlling, way too anti-women, and just really bad.
This is something that Andrew Tate has said himself, that what he would do is when he was doing the fucking have the webcam girls, he was texting the dudes, which means he was probably looking at a bunch of dick pics and being like, oh my God, it's a great dick. And he was trying to get the guys, he was saying like, I'll meet up with you for $1,000, right? The guys would send the money and then no one would show up. And then so he would scam the guys. And then to top it off, he would gaslight the guys into thinking it was their fault and get even more money from them.
Oh, and he bragged about it, and you could see he got like a Schadenfreude kind of joy talking about it, how he's yeah, and we would take them for everything they're worth, like $100,000, whatever, making them think that they're going to turn this cam girl into their girlfriend, right? And that's really messed up. Like these guys, they need help. They need like, coaches or something helping them. And this is actually digging them deeper in that hole of like despair and loneliness. And yeah, so it shows he's definitely an unethical person, right? So I wouldn't trust him at all.
He has a video like 2021 where he says, I will never do anything crypto related because that's a scam where people on top win. And then he did the daddy coin and he rug pulled like 3 fucking times. And then when his audience confronted him, he basically gaslit them and saying, oh, well, you guys were so stupid to listen to me, so therefore you deserve to have your money stolen. So actually, I did this to teach you guys a lesson, to be less gullible. It's like the most insane shit with that dude.
But there are things you can learn from him about like charisma, about public speaking, about frame control, stuff like that. But if you take him seriously, I think you're kind of fucked.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, I think that's all the questions. Anything anyone wants to talk about before we wrap up?
I'm going to be filming infield every day. So if anyone wants to watch more hidden camera footage, I know there's not too many people doing that on YouTube, then make sure to subscribe to my channel, a.g.hayden. I've already got a few videos queued up for the next few days.
Nice. What about you, Austin? What are you doing now?
What am I doing?
Yeah, like what are you working on?
I got my immersion coming up, and so what are we doing? Dude, we have so much shit going on right now. It's like we're like moving, putting stuff into storage, and like do Europe trip. I'm gonna be just filming infield in Europe pretty much, and then have my immersion there, and then I really don't know what I'm doing past 2 months pretty much.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna do a Europe kind of tour. That seems, I mean, you've done it before, right? That seems like that would be a good time.
Yeah, I went twice. Yeah. All right, cool, guys. Check out Austin's channel. Check out Avery's channel. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And we'll see you guys next time. Take it easy, everybody.